I present to you Walter Kierzkowski.
Welcome, everybody. Today we're going to take you a trip from Scranton to Cadosia on the O&W. The O&W also ran from Weehawken to Oswego, New York. The Scranton branch was a 56-mile branch line into Scranton and to tap onto the coal. It was made up of 3 smaller railroads, the Scranton Carbondale, the Forest City, and Hancock and State Line. Okay. Here's a shot of the Laurel Line coming into Scranton. In 1941, a trip out of Jersey City, the O&W group and railroad enthusiasts sponsored a trip there to get on the O&W from Scranton back to Weehawken. They rode on the Lehigh Valley and came into Scranton on the Laurel Line. Yeah. Map. Skip this. Maps of Scranton. The O&W also connected with the CNJ in Scranton. And they had a small yard at Carbon Street.
Where would Steamtown be to give us a point of reference?
Okay, Steamtown is on the higher top of the right, top right. Okay, on the left, you will see a big column pile, and the O&W, in search of more coal, actually ran a line through the middle of that column pile to get more coal. In the 20s, it was starting to lose coal. Okay.
So, well, bottom left, I'm looking at Bridge 60 there, and then that's the Lackawanna River snaking up.
That's true.
Okay.
Yes. Let's see. Okay. The Scranton Transit Company crossing over. There's a early signal for the on the right-hand side for the streetcars, and that's the Central New Jersey O&W joint freight station. It still stands today on the right-hand side.
Avenue.
Yes, on Lackawanna Avenue. Let's see. Another shot. That's the Central New Jersey and a station which the O&W also used.
That was wood.
Wood,
construction.
yes. This is probably in the 1890s. There's another shot. That's train number 10, a passenger train on the O&W that's leaving the Scranton. In the background, you see a couple of breakers. Another shot of the station and freight house. There we had the B&O once visited, was operating at the Scranton too, but it was actually on the CNJ's leased units. Later days, CNJ was still coming into Scranton. We're looking across, this is the D&H on the left here. We're going to cross at the freight station and cross the Lackawanna River and the O&W train there. There we have an NW2 leaving the CNJ freight station.
Where this job would have worked at a Mayfield yard and came down to interchange with the CNJ?
Right. This is the Mayfield freight.
This question, can you give us some idea when these photographs were taken and what direction we're looking at? So
Okay.
you're looking.
We're leaving Scranton, heading towards Mayfield.
So you're looking due south towards.
You're looking north. You're looking at it at south, but the locomotive is going to be heading north.
And this was the absolute end of the line as far as the Scranton division is concerned. A
connection with the CNJ. Here we have an FT unit coming up the D&H. There was I figure instead of they come out of Croxton, New York, or Croxton, Pennsylvania, and this was like one of the symbol freights. They hauled a lot of meat cars too. There must have been something wrong on the Kapowski branch or the long train, so they used the Lackawanna. They had trackage rights. Here we're looking at just like Carbon Street Yard, part of it, and you have Scranton Transit trolley cars in the background, and also part of the Diamond and Pleasant Mount breakers.
What's in the background there? The trolley cars?
Those are all trolley cars, Scranton Transit trolley cars.
How far are we from Lackawanna Avenue? Just north of Lackawanna?
Well, short distance. It's only
Okay.
short distance, like maybe half a mile of that.
And we're north of Lackawanna Avenue?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, we're coming up towards Mayfield Yard. Let's see when we're. Yeah. There's another freight train there, Scranton area there, close to the Diamond Mine.
You can still see the trolley cars in the background.
Yes. You see part of Scranton there too. Part of the trackage where they dug through the column pile to get to one of the Pleasant Mountain Mine there somewhere, breaker or washery.
So George Gula online says that the yard is across the Mulberry Street Bridge,
Right.
and then Carbon is to the right of the bridge.
Right.
So,
Yeah, the bridge is there on the bottom.
yep. And that's the Mulberry Street Bridge. Is that bridge still there today, or is it
That
gone?
bridge is still there. It was shared by trolley cars and passenger cars. And then later on, when they got rid of the trolleys in around 1954, it became a passenger bridge.
I'm guessing it's like a Greek Orthodox church or some kind
Right.
of. Is that still
We'll
there?
see that. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, here you see a trolley car on the bridge. That is the D&H you see underneath at that point. There's a trolley car going up that bridge. They shared the bridge. Sand tower for the streetcars is on the right. And P class, this one here is in Carbon Street Yard. It was a small yard, had a small turntable too. Carbon Street Yard. Here, this was a trip, I believe in 1948, when they brought an O&W train, an inspection train in.
That's the same Mulberry Street.
That's the Mulberry Street Bridge.
And George online says that it was replaced about 10 years ago.
Right. Okay. An F3 with the heater car.
I think that's this month's calendar picture, isn't it?
I'm not. Yeah, there is a picture of this. Here we have the train turning around. It's going by Stips construction company there. You notice even the sand piles are covering over some of the tracks on the right. We're heading north towards Mayfield.
And this was double track or single track?
Well, it was double tracks in there, but actually the main line into Scranton was single track from Olyphant up. One of the observation cars. Yeah. The freight house there at the end of Carbon Street.
And Norm, if you want to butt in with any of this stuff, you've got permission to speak. 'Cause I know he was saying that bridge is long gone, that Scranton Expressway was built and realigned.
Right.
That whole thing.
Here we have the
Ooh.
1941 Mountaineer trip that left Scranton. That is the Russian Orthodox Church there in the background. See the bridge there too. Just right by Scranton Transit. Trolley barns are on the right-hand side. Another shot of it. Okay. The O&W and Lackawanna had shared that diamond branch, the diamond mine for getting coal.
And the DLW, they swung all the way across, and then they crossed on a bridge there
Right.
across Lackawanna, and then
Right.
was
right.
it?
And there was a diamond there too, and the track. It was actually on Providence Road. There was a semaphore that stood there for many years, ran probably into the 1980s before somebody took the blade off. Let's see. So this is coming, that's Diamond Crossing. There's the diamond mine. This is at Park Place. This is where the O&W came in and took coal from the diamond. They're crossing there.
Is that semaphore blade you were talking about?
Not this one. There was another one. It was by a Glider Diner.
Yeah, George is saying
Providence Road.
the Glider Diner is at the crossing with Providence Road.
Yeah. Yeah, you're looking at Diamond Crossing right there. On the shandies there. Here you're looking at Carmen Street Yard is on the left-hand side. There's some hopper cars there. You're looking back towards Scranton.
You're looking south there.
South.
So that's where I guess the main track ended, and then everything was yard limits south of there.
Right.
Okay.
Till it connected up with C&J. Some more. That's a trolley barn on the right-hand side. There's some small industries in there too, the O&W. The Park Place, that's leaving, getting close to Providence. There was a small breaker there too.
And this is all looking north.
You're all looking north.
Yep.
Okay. Bond storage breaker. The O&W had to put a bridge across the Lackawanna River to get to this bond storage breaker. Pull coal out of it.
Is that where the current DL Greenridge yard is on the D&H side?
It's further over to the right, actually. Be to the right.
They've got like a strip mall in that bond storage breaker.
Yes.
Right?
Okay. Let's see. We got. Okay. Okay, we tell the breaker
So
there.
West End Coal Company.
West
breaker.
End, yeah, that's before Providence. Here's part of the bridge, I guess, for Von Storch.
So you're standing at Von Storch looking towards the O&W there.
Yes.
So you're
Yeah, that's the
looking
O&W main across the
west across the Lackawanna
Yeah.
River. Okay.
But there's actually like a spur track in there too, a branch to hold the hopper cars.
Oh, high the water. Yeah, it looks like
Yeah.
a flood.
Yeah. Yeah, we're looking at it. This is you're looking from the O&W is in the lower right or lower left.
And you're looking east towards.
Yeah. And we're looking north. Another shot of it. Now we're looking south. That's the bridge across the Lackawanna, O&W bridge.
Was that the largest breaker on the line, or was there?
The Lackawanna was the largest.
Okay.
There was a double one there.
Big building.
Nice. Yeah.
Where he was there. Yes, yes.
Okay, another shot across. There you see the pile of column. It's not all coal, and you see all the cars in there collecting the coal there. You see the O&W bridge on the left coming in, and there's all the hopper cars and all that are getting loaded.
Did they connect with the D&H in that facility?
I don't believe they did. Here we have Providence Road, and the station, the O&W station, is on the left-hand side there. You just see the roof of it. Here's what it looked like. It was a junkyard by the time when the O&W was still running.
Did you take this picture?
No, somebody else did for me. Another shot. You're looking back south.
Looks like they had some retaining wall issues there.
Earthquake damage.
Earthquake damage?
That was today's earthquake.
Yeah.
There we had some Erie locomotives here. When after the shutdown, they were going up to the Northwest Coal Company up in Einan. That worked well into the 60s. So they operated from Erie came out of two ways. They came from Scranton, or they came from Winton.
Is that station still standing?
I'm not sure. I haven't been up there in a while, so.
Yeah.
There's Troop. Okay.
So in the bottom left, they cross over the D&H, then they cross the Lackawanna.
Yes.
Lackawanna River, I should say.
Right. This was served by both the O&W and the D&H, the Pentecost Breaker. They had a massive accident there in around 1902. I think over 100 miners died.
Ooh.
Here we're looking at, this is the D&H on the bottom, the O&W is on top.
And those abutments are still there if you ever take,
Yes.
Steamtown is running a lot more excursions to Carbondale under steam, and you can point out the O&W
Right.
crossing over back and forth.
They replaced some of the bridges and expecting heavy coal traffic. So just a bridge replacement. They're crossing the Lackawanna River here. This is just above, south of the Marvin mine. There you have the Marvin breaker. You have Scranton Transit tracks there on the road. The O&W ran it right here too, on the right.
Scranton Coal narrow gauge.
Scranton Coal Company narrow gauge line.
Yeah. See, yep. Here we have the O&W right here, Marvin Washery on the right. Yeah, the storage yard right above here, where the pile up there.
And you're looking northeast there?
Yes.
Any idea when, we got some requests, of, whenever these pictures are taken, if you have any idea of around what time they were taken?
Look at the cars.
Yeah. This is what, 40s?
40s,
That
50s.
looks like a 50,
Yeah, in the 50s.
52,
Yeah.
53.
This is before a lot of these pictures were before they closed down. Another shot of it there. You see some hopper cars on the right.
Has anyone been inside one of these breakers and seen the light coming through these windows? So many windows.
Yeah.
Were there men walking inside?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, they washed the coal and everything and sorted it.
So the only
Coal-
source of
coal's
light were these
rated.
windows. I mean, this is,
Yeah. There's the Richmond number 3. That was on the far west of the Marvin. The one that served this. There was probably double track. Here's the Kapowski branch coming up. Okay. The location.
so you're looking north here. That's the Lackawanna River. the yellow line
Top
there
of the
is-
picture is north. The
Yep.
lower part down here, the House Branch. I don't have a pointer here. I would point it out.
Or what city are we in here? Is this still,
This is actually Dixon City.
okay,
This is the bridge over the Lackawanna, which the D&H used to get to the Pentecost mine. Bridge, well, it's on the bridge 25. And you see they're building the branch to the Pentecost mine in this picture here. You have the Marvin and you have the Richmond mine breakers here in this picture. Those are
That's bridge 24.
24?
Yeah,
Yeah, bridge 20.
they were expanding it. They were expanding it, making a double track, putting a new bridge in.
Right.
That's
Here
another
we
shot.
look back. Yeah, that's the D&H on the bottom, the O&W up on top.
and then and it
Yeah.
says B24, Bridge 24,
Right.
and then the branch is on the other side of that bridge going to the left.
Yes, there's a branch there. That's going to be the Cup House branch.
No,
Yeah.
the one you see the hopper cars on are the branch to the breaker. And if you look just above that on the end of the bridge, you'll see the House branch branching uphill, upgrade. You can actually
Right.
see the station sign across from the Trackman Shanty. You'll see the big white sign there. That was the Capouse Junction sign.
Well,
You need like a microscope to see that, but I see what you're talking about.
Yeah,
okay, we got
that's
it.
my neck of the woods.
D&H track to Pentecost Breaker. Bridge 24 is in the background.
Yep.
That's the Pentecost Breaker in Troop. The O&W and D&H both served it. Let's see. Got an order here.
The extra 216 south at Capouse Junction.
Right. Now, coming up is the Caboose branch. Here we have the track on the right is the O&W main. The track on the left heads to the Richmond mine. And where that white sign is on your very left is the beginning of the Caboose branch.
That's
And
the side that was
That was
smaller in the
this,
other
yeah.
picture.
that's the smaller, yeah, right. And up above it will be Dixon Yard where they've stored the hopper cars.
And those look at the rail holders there.
Right, no, hold on the right. Here we have an NW2 heading towards Olyphant. It's still in Dixon though,
Heading north.
heading north. Okay. Later days, okay, this is the single line is heading towards the Bridge 24. Okay, the track on the right is going to the Capouse Junction,
And you're looking south.
and you're looking south. That bridge actually is going over the top of the D&H. Here we have a watchman shed on the Capouse branch.
That's it. Main Street in Dixon.
You have the Leggett's Creek breaker here. The O&W served that. There's a wooden trestle first for an extension of the Capouse branch.
They fill that in later on, I'm assuming?
No, there's the steel bridge that replaced it.
Okay.
The breaker's on the right. Another shot of the steel bridge. And here we have an accident
Ooh.
on there. A bull moose plowed into a semi in Providence Road and drove it out onto the trestle.
So he's
This
probably,
was dealing with the competition.
so this is all that Lehigh Valley freight going to Coxton then, right?
Right. Well, he's actually heading back towards Mayfield.
So he's pulling cars.
Yeah, pulling cars.
So that was the
Yeah.
main,
Oh,
ooh,
boy.
There's another shot. This happened in February. It's during the snowstorm too. Okay.
Yeah, what was the truck doing on the bridge? Is what you can say.
That darn GPS.
The O&W record.
What year was this?
Oh, that'll be in the 40s. I'm not sure exactly. I'll have to check it on that, but it was in the 40s.
So this would have been probably a Coxton and Maybrook kind of train.
Right. Yeah.
For bridge
That was
traffic.
the bridge traffic. That started back in say 2022 when they started. They were losing the coal. Coal's running out, and so they continued on with tried to do a bridge traffic. A lot of meat and stuff to New England. Capos Branch is going underneath this. This is, they claim, a tunnel, but actually it's Lackawanna is on top.
It's beautiful.
Yeah,
Tunnel.
that still stands. It's there. You can see that there. It's right off of Kaiser Avenue.
What Lackawanna line is that up top?
That's the one out of Scranton. This
That's
is
the main line?
Scranton
yeah, the main line.
Okay.
Steamtown used to run trains over that.
Yeah.
And the Susquehanna.
Yeah.
Here. These are the 5 Waddell hoppers that got landlocked at McCormick's on the Capos Branch. These were the ones that were painted in orange.
And this is after the railroad went out and they were landlocked.
Yeah. Well, the Waddell Coal Company purchased them.
Okay.
Here we have a shot. Okay. This is actually the Lackawanna, the O&W on the left, and the O&W is following it on the far right. And that's one of those tracks going into, I'm trying to think of the name now. One of the mines, like the Pine Mine, is all back in there.
So where's the O&W's?
The O&W is on the right.
That's
is
the
part of the
line
proposal.
heading, that's the line heading down to Old Forge. Yeah.
Okay.
And into Coxton.
It's the O&W, a few signals here.
Cayuga Junction.
Yeah, that's Cayuga Junction.
Tank for heaters for the switch. Last
The previous picture?
What?
Can you go back to the previous picture?
tank on the right.
Yeah.
Tank for,
Yeah.
for the switch heaters.
Here's the Capos Branch, or Capos Breaker here, the one they've served. Okay. The high switch stand there, the Sibley's siding here. Cars all loaded up to be pulled out to go to Mayfield.
That sign says Luzerne. Is that
Luzerne siding.
Luzerne siding?
Luzerne siding.
Looks almost like ballast that they're hauling.
Yeah.
Okay, here's the Pine Breaker. You know, they've served this breaker.
Spelled Pyne, not
Pine.
like pine, like a pine tree.
Sibley Junction coming up. It's on the left-hand side. The O&W comes down on the left. The little branch, you just about see it here.
And this
The
is the
switch to the
junction
left.
with,
With the Lehigh Valley.
okay.
Well, what that was the O&W come up, they'd run around their train, they'd shove it up the tail end of that siding, and then they'd pull down onto the Austin branch to Lehigh Valley to go the rest of the way.
So that Sibley Junction is between the Lehigh Valley's Austin branch and the Capos branch.
Right.
Yeah, that's a
essentially.
connection to the Austin branch, yep. You can still see the grade there, the right of way, it's getting overgrown pretty good, but that line was taken out when Conrail came in.
Yeah, see it?
And that's Kaiser
pretty
Kaiser Avenue street there on the right.
Yeah, and this is pretty close to the end. I mean, they still
Yeah.
had bridge traffic
Right.
until the very end.
Yes.
Yes, yep.
And the Keyhole Berg, William A. Breaker. O&W pulled coal from there.
It flows right off the tongue, right?
Right.
And that breaker was only served by the O&W, yet they had access via the Lehigh Valley Austin branch.
So the O&W had trackage rights over the Austin branch just to serve this
Right.
breaker.
Yes, and to go into the yard at Coxton then for interchange.
So we're south of Sibley now.
Okay.
Okay.
Right,
Now we're down in Lehigh Valley Yard.
yeah, Coxton yard. And
There's a
note, these O&W trains seldom went back via the Capouse branch because they were pretty much loaded going north. They'd go up the Lackawanna up to Taylor and then swing off through Hampton Yard and connect back up at Capouse Junction.
That's an O&WFT on the left.
Looks like a Lehigh.
Looks like a valley. I
Oh,
see
valley?
the
Okay.
flag in the front.
Okay,
Yeah.
is there a flag in front? Okay,
That's O&W.
that's O&W, okay.
1, 2.
Yep. 458.
This down there.
So this
That's-
is what Norm was talking about. They're leaving Coxton going across, and then they're going to
Well,
come
actually-
up through.
Actually, this train, Alan, is just come off the Capouse, off the Capouse branch, and they're shoving back up into the yard.
Okay.
That's why the caboose is right next to the engines.
There you go.
Thank you, Norm.
Thank you.
Well,
Are we going back to
So we're going to go
Dixon?
back to
Dixon, now we're going back on the main line again. Okay. Stores breaker, you have the
You're
House
looking.
Junction,
You're looking north to the upper
Yes.
right.
right. Okay. Okay. I believe this, the D&H is on the right. The O&W here is on the left, but it's also, it used to be a Susquehanna track that came in, and towards the end of the line, like in the, probably in the late 40s, the O&W leased it. And they
Susquehanna
were
Connect.
running.
the Susquehanna track, you see the people in the gauge of the O&W main there? The Susquehanna track ended about 3 blocks north of them. That's where they ended at the Johnson breaker, so.
Right.
And that was a discongruous branch with the rest of the whole Susquehanna system, right?
Yes, and when
Right.
the O&W went out of business, they kept the Susquehanna track connected to the O&W track, and the Lackawanna and later the Erie Lackawanna accessed it, and the O&W track was torn out.
And this is probably
Yeah.
50s. This is the boulevard
In
right
this-
there in Dixon,
And
right?
that's
Right.
Boulevard Avenue. Freight House, the D&H Freight House still stands, and that's where the D&H caboose is at right now. And the Gateman's Tower there, I spent many hours up in there with the guy, many hours. Got my first timetable from him, and I still own the short and long stop signs for the crossing when he had to get out of the tower and go down and flag the crossings while he was down there. They're still in my collection.
Okay.
That's a
NW2,
that's a great picture right there.
This is the same street, Boulevard Avenue.
Yep,
Right.
that's Boulevard Avenue. And I have that switch target that's there. I own that too, legally. I have a couple of them legal. I bought them from the scrapper, so.
Who was that? A D&H employee in the crossing tower there? Or was it a split?
Yeah,
I
that was
think
a,
it was
that was a D&H tower, D&H employee, and the O&W subsidized based on the amount of traffic they ran.
Yeah. Now, this is the Dixon City Station.
Sadly,
Good
that was
Dixon.
gone before I was around.
Mhm. Okay. Okay. St-
That's the storage breaker. That was DL and W had trackage rights up the O&W to access their line up to the storage breaker.
Right.
Yep, and there's about 7 buildings left of that property.
Johnson's number 1.
Yep.
O&W served this. If you look at the trackage here, over there, there's a 3-way stub switch there. right in this area. And going into the scale house, and there's a single stub switch a little further up. You see the three sets of tracks there coming in, and the stubs switch were operated. Olyphant. Still looking north. Okay, let me get back here a minute. Back. Okay. The O&W is on the left. The O&W, or the Susquehanna is on the right.
Is that a call, by the way?
Yeah, that's from the Olyphant breaker there. But the O&W did not serve it. It was a D&H
And
operation.
if you see the automatic block signal there, I bought both heads off of it because that's all my father could afford. And they came through later on and put sewer lines through, and they dug a hole and pushed it over and buried the rest of it. But I still have the signal heads. One of them is almost fully restored. The other, I haven't worked on the other one in a while.
Olyphant looking south. This was after the 42 flood. We have a peak class running up towards the Lackawanna breaker. And we have the Johnson branch. Johnson branch is on the right-hand side. We're still in Olyphant. Let's see. You have some men working on the electric poles here. Actually, this is the mine companies put the electric in to run the mines, the breakers and stuff, and the power in there. This is on the lower left. You'll see the O&W branch going up to the Johnson mine. It's uphill. Okay, Johnson number 2. Only served by the O&W.
This is north.
Yeah, we're looking north. Yeah. This is part of the branch. We're going uphill, heading towards that breaker on the left. That's a Johnson number 4.
So are you looking south here then?
We're looking back south.
Okay. How long was that lead? Probably a couple
Let's see.
thousand feet.
Going. Okay, here we have it. And here's a derailleur here. And if you look at the ties, you will see that
It's been
several
used.
times some cars got away here.
Yeah, it was tested.
Split point derail.
You know.
God bless.
Another shot of it. There we have a shot of the Olyphant station.
So now we're gonna be double
Back
tracked
to-
from here on up to
Yes,
Cadosia.
it starts there. There's the spring switch coming up.
And just as a point of interest, this is a good picture here to show it. That's Lackawanna Avenue there. Actually, this side of the crossing is Dixon City. The other side is Blakely, and Olyphant is actually across the river to the right. They called it the Olyphant Station, the Olyphant area, because that was where the population was. But
Yeah.
it's actually in Dixon City. So.
These are all culm piles, right, that we're seeing in the background?
Yes, yes.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Now that's the column pile and this photo for the Lackawanna breaker. This is the Susquehanna, and the O&W served it. This is the Susquehanna track on their left.
Right. Right.
And the double tracks are here. That's the O&W on the right.
And the D&H is on the other side of the river?
On the other side of the river. You
Yep. Way over the other side of the river, but the other side of town.
Okay, here's the Lackawanna breaker over here. That was big.
You said it's the
It's
biggest
served
in
by
line.
it's served by the Susquehanna and the O&W. Put a shot of it. See all the activity going on in the, around there.
All these are all O&W tracks here in this yard?
Mostly O&W, but Susquehanna also came in here and pulled coal from here.
And this is looking back south, or is this
That's
We're
looking,
looking,
that's
going
looking
north? Okay. So to the left of the tracks if you're
Yeah.
going north. Looks like they got their own little locomotive in there if you look to the left, like a
yeah,
a
that's a
Loki.
mine locomotive. Over here, that bridge in the background over there leads to the column pile. And it's a big column pile that you see.
Did the Susquehanna have trackage rights to get to this branch, or did they
No,
have?
they had an actual track that ran in there.
But I
They
mean,
had
did
their
they
own
just
route.
keep a? Okay, they came, what, be Erie or something?
No, they came out of Jessup.
Jessup, okay.
Yeah.
at that time, the Erie was controlling it. When the line was put in, the Erie had control of it, and they put it in under the Susquehanna name.
Okay. The end of the double track, it just shows here. This was,
Spring switch,
More coal.
more column piles,
yeah,
and this is all looking
south
north.
of Peckville. Column piles on the left, the breakers are down on the right. Peckville. The station still stands in Peckville. It's a plumbing supply.
Yep.
But they restored part of it. There you see it,
New ballast too, pretty close to the end,
right?
like late 50s, mid 50s.
Now this train is heading south, O&W train. Both tracks there are O&W.
And actually, there's rails still in the ground at the crossing for both main
Right
tracks.
across.
And when Plumbing Supply bought the station, they took the turret off and they put an addition on where the tracks would be for a showroom. But the station it's in beautiful condition though.
And we're crossing over the main street. Oh, let's see, go back. Tracks are getting a little overgrown.
Yeah.
Is that the main one?
That's the main. Here, the retaining wall is giving way here. You're looking back towards the station. That's the Lackawanna River on the left.
So
You're looking south.
that tower there, was that a crossing tower?
Yes.
Okay.
There you see part of the retaining wall fell down on the left there. I guess this had to be after the 42 storm.
Looks earlier than
Floods.
that. It's still single track. Is this before they double tracked? Because this is looking
Yeah,
north,
I know.
right?
I see it. It should have been double tracked.
This might be earlier than when did they double track the Scranton
That,
division?
like back in, gotta be like 1913.
Might be before 1913, judging by the photo quality.
That the wall on the extreme left there along the highway, they're finally replacing that. It got so bad they had to replace it. So
Riverside Junction starts at Winton. The O&W service several breakers along here. So they had a small yard too at the Riverside mine. Mount Jessup. These are old O&W wooden hopper cars here. The O&W is on the bottom. The Susquehanna is running across the top.
So they're going to loop around and they're going to be back at the same level, closer towards
Right,
Olyphant.
when they're further in Peckville, down
Yeah.
towards the Lackawanna breaker. That's what they,
And you're looking north here.
yes, you're looking north. Okay. Riverside Junction, going to the right. Oh. crossing over the Susquehanna. There's a small yard in here, in the, oh, does the pointer come up on there? No. You see in the background, there's hopper cars there.
You
I was just looking to see if
You want a pointer to come out?
that's all right. No, leave it, leave it,
Okay.
leave it.
That's a housing development there. The right of way is now a roadway.
Here they're crossing over the Susquehanna, the O&W.
So it wasn't a diamond, it was just a pair
No,
of
just
switches. But
Right.
somebody controlled it because there's the piping for an interlocking mechanism of some kind. So I don't know if they had an
Yeah.
operator there or if both switches
Yes.
lined at the same
Yeah.
time or something like that.
The O&W leased this here from the Susquehanna later on. The O&W working the Riverside branch. Coal is starting to run out, so they don't have big trains.
No.
On locations.
So Riverside Junction's to the back, the bottom right. Okay. And then north is to the right. So you're looking, top of the map is west.
We're looking west.
Yeah, top of the
Actually,
map is west. To the
Yes.
right is north. To the left is back towards Scranton.
Okay. Now this is the Susquehanna crossing, the street there in Peckville. They're heading, this one here, this is the track that we've seen going up to the Stores Breaker. There's the Riverside branch breaker, served by the O&W, only by the O&W. Raymond Mine breaker here too. It's an early picture. The Raymond breaker, another big operation. And we have the Blue Ridge breaker. Fort Cook breaker. These are all on the Riverside branch.
How long was the branch in total?
Big good.
Like 8 miles or something?
About something like 8 miles. This is the Ontario breaker. This is the first revenue car of coal came off this in 1890. Around 1947, this caught fire and burned.
Pat Stapleton asked, did the coal run out or did the market decline?
Right. The market, the coal's running out.
You've got how many more years of coal still in the Lackawanna
There's still
Valley?
coal there, but it's deep.
I don't think
or
they're
it's-
even 50% depleted. I think they got enough to.
Well, there's a lot of water.
All flooded when the,
It's all flooded now.
Yeah.
yeah, back in 57 or 58, when they drilled a hole into the river bottom.
59, the Knox mine disaster.
Yeah. This is crossing the road from by Einan.
Who's
Going down.
surveying it when this picture was taken? Do you know who was serving it when this picture was?
This was the O&W was, I think towards the end there when just about when they were out before the Erie started coming. The Erie came in there first, then the Erie Lackawanna.
Oh, okay.
There, the Ontario breaker.
Yep.
They have a Union sign on the caboose there. I don't know why. This is-
Brotherhood of Railroad Trainmen, something like that.
Right.
94.
94.
BO.
Yeah. There was some hopper cars written up for the Ontario, Carbondale and Scranton Railroad.
Trucks on them.
They're like 25-ton cars.
Less than that.
10,000 series.
10 tons. Oh, no, 25 tons.
20
You're right.
ton. Now we got Einan. Okay. This is the Northwest Coal Company. That was the end of the line. Here we have the O&W still operating. So this had to be in the 50s. And we have, I believe this is Erie Lackawanna serving it around 1964 or so. Breaker operated well into the 60s.
Wow. Dunmore caboose.
Right. Another shot of it. There we go. Track's a little rusty, but it was still working. In the background, you see 5 of the 10 hopper cars that the Northwest bought from the O&W. They were serving retail coal. So they were operating them. And it was a small Northwest coal company on the end of the car. They never repainted the O&W cars or anything. This is around the same time that the Waddell bought the cars, the 5 cars. Well, the O&W or the Northwest purchased 10 of the cars. Now, if you notice the column pile over here, it looks like they kept operating, but the cars were still on the 2 sidings there. And eventually they get covered,
They still there?
supposedly,
Yeah, they
as
said.
far as I know.
No, they're not there. They were never covered. They were scrapped on site. Actually, they were offered to Steamtown when Steamtown came to Scranton, but they were in such bad shape, they cost them more to move them and repair them than it would be to do anything, so they were scrapped on site.
Yeah, it's 5 of the 10.
Yep. I only wish I had a camera back then so I could have documented a lot of this, but I didn't own a camera, so I have very few pictures.
Well, I was lucky.
Yeah, we were lucky. You had the camera.
There's another shot.
That's
Wow.
a good
See
picture,
the-
Walter. That's a real good picture.
Is that the end of the line at the Riverside break?
Yeah, right.
Okay.
End of the brand.
There's
not
Hackett Slope
Riverside
there.
branch.
And also in the Hackett Slope, the pothole that's there off of Route 6. The miners were digging and they punctured the hole and they almost drowned when it was full of water, the pothole. So that's how they discovered the pothole there. It was from the glacier. The glacier's cut in.
It's still there.
The potholes are both
Yeah,
there,
Archbald.
but there's that's only the small one. The bigger one's further there, but the state never did anything about the second one, the bigger one. It's only a little ways in the woods. Winton.
Turns down this deserted highway.
We have a small station here.
Thinking, wow, this is the only vehicle on the
This is
highway.
where
This is a perfect.
the Susquehanna came in here too. And they had actually in later years, the decapods could have ran from here to Middletown. I don't know if they ever activated or used or not.
The Susquehanna Connecting Railroad all the way Erie
Yeah,
Jessup
well,
branch.
this is where they went up the hill to go back up towards Dunmore.
Yeah, the Jessup branch.
The
And then
Jessup
came
branch,
in
yeah.
there at Rock Junction on the
Right.
Erie, the Wyoming Valley line. And then
Yeah.
from there,
Back in 1902, the Lackawanna, the interurban line, the Lackawanna Wyoming Valley wanted a connection into Carbondale, and they came to the O&W, and they offered them they could have got a trackage right as far as Hazleton with the Pennsylvania Railroad, but the O&W turned them down. I guess they didn't want the electric railroad coming in, but they were trying to get into Carbondale. So that might have been another mistake the O&W made. Here's the Waddell breaker. Now this breaker's stood till the end. It burned, but they continued operating. The equipment was good. There's a shot. This is it'd be like in the 50s. The column piles in the back, Scranton Power and Light burned a lot of that column in their turbines. make steam and electric.
So this picture here might be familiar to some people is the late Bob Carrick's, the cover of his Hard Coal
Right.
O&W book.
Right. Yeah, he came to me took a lot of my pictures for the hoppers.
Excellent book, and I
Yeah.
let the people in the chat know that if you ever want to know anything about O&W coal cars, that is the Bible. So
This is when the breaker burned. That's all column behind it over here.
still works, I guess.
Yep. Here's some of the Waddell. Now these are 55-ton cars. The O&W added a foot on top. If you look real close on there, you can see the welding on there. But they only had 50, these were originally 50-ton hoppers, and they were turned into 55-ton. That's 2 of the 5. Yeah, the rivet line is like up towards the top. Archbald. There's a washery here too that the O&W served. They had to cross over to Lackawanna, looking north towards Archbald. Well, this is single track, so this had to be pre-1913.
That milepost there, 204 to, I'm guessing, Weehawken. Did they keep those mileposts on this? Was it the Scranton
There was
Division
mileposts there.
Okay.
The coal docks were there, and just Lackawanna River on the left. The D&H will be a little higher, where there's a little puff of smoke up in there. That's where the D&H is in the background here.
So we've crossed the other side now.
Yes,
The left.
right on the opposite side of the hill. This was all flooded too during the 42 flood. There, where the plume of smoke is up there, that's a D&H train operating. There's a breaker up in there for them. It's the O&W on the bottom. This is a bridge was by the school. This stood in many years.
See right
Last
there.
night, probably 80s, 90s. It was still there.
This is B16 right there, Bridge 16.
Right. Here's some of the flood there in Archbald. They never
1942.
thought that the 42 flood. They didn't think the O&W would survive. But after massive help, they did go through and got everything back running. There's a video of this here. I gotta try to get it put on a DVD.
Oh.
Yeah. This is that bridge that you see that survived.
So they single tracked it after this flood?
No, they
Okay.
still ran double track all the way down. They're still getting coal in the war years.
Looks good for 10. 10 miles an hour.
The O&W station, passenger station there on your right. Up a postcard. Here we have a P class heading towards Scranton. Now, if you look on the top, you see a signal, and where the electric pole is and where the smoke is coming out of the O&W locomotive is German transfer, and the D&H is up there. The transfer cars between the O&W and D&H at this point.
That's where the German transfer was.
Right, up on top. Yeah, you can see cars, you can see hopper cars and that up on the top. There's the O&W's double track Chariot and German transfers up on top.
That's the O&W is a trail there now,
Yeah, right.
all the way from Winton up.
They're putting a retainer wall in and that because there's German transfers up in here just to make some room for a yard for the cars. There's the O&W work train here. There's a lot of sleeper logs and ties and stuff put in that hold the ground. This is the Lackawanna River on the bottom. Here you're looking down this. The German transfers here on the right, you can see some hopper cars up on top. And there's a long sloping line that comes down
And the line up top is still active as the.
Oh, yeah, that's
line to
the
Carbondale.
That line to Carbondale, Carbondale only. The area used to use it too. They had trackage rights. On your left, up in here is powder mills. DuPont had a powder for the mines, bunkers and stuff. You know, and they had a spur there for delivering powder. So the D&H main line going up through there. Jermyn, my hometown.
They crossed the Lackawanna again now.
Right,
Now they're on the
yes,
opposite
yes,
side of
right.
D&H.
Yes. Looking north towards this German station. German station. Now this was before they double tracked it. This is around 1913. They have a single bridge here like this here. It was replaced by 2 pony bridges. Another shot of it.
Casket company.
Yeah. The Miller Casket Company on the left.
That was
Glass
still,
company.
I don't know if it's still there now, but it was last time I was up there.
Mhm.
Still had one of my aunts
Yeah.
was still,
Yeah.
it was still there
Yeah.
then.
Hudson's Coal, largest underground pump room where pumping water out of the mines was located. Part of it was right underneath the O&W main line. It's to the right. If you see like a little bit of some kind of woodwork there, tower, that's part of the where the pump room was. There's a shot of the underground pump room. They had a 36-inch main that pumped water out to the Hudson River, or at Lackawanna River.
You took that picture?
Now here's the original bridge is on the background, and here's the replacement bridge here, but there's going to be a second one in, and the double track will continue on.
Which way is north? To the left or to the right?
To the right.
Okay.
To the right. Now here in Jermyn also, here's 2 D&H Camelback locomotives. One ran into the other. Pity those poor firemen. Ooh, got crushed in this job. The Methodist Church is right across above one of those things, so it sure proves it's German.
Is this the same class of Camelback that the O&W bought? Number, was it 601 or 801?
701.
701.
Yeah. Here, the D&H wrecker over here, putting them back.
Are any of these stations standing besides the one at
Peckville's the only one that I know of right now.
So all these
Okay.
stations are gone with the exception, I guess, the
Right.
C&J freight station in Peckville.
Right. Further up the line.
Yeah,
Beyond Carbondale.
yeah.
Yeah, you have 2 stations there. Okay. This is the trolley car in Jermyn. Ran between Jermyn and Carbondale. And it was part of Scranton Transit later. This is the beef house over here, O&W Spur coming in. We're looking towards Mayfield Yard. This is Murray's Crossing. Actually, there's a creamery on the left up there. Cure's Dairy was on the left. And this is the beef house here. This is the main street there in Jermyn. Washington Avenue goes into Mayfield. And you cross over.
There's actually rails still in the ground right there at the crossing too.
Right. Mayfield Yard, one of the big marshalling yards.
How many jobs did they have going on at Mayfield at a given point in day, let's say the 30s or 40s?
Okay, well, here we have, I'm not sure that there, but it was very busy. In the 40s over there with the war years and everything else, things were moving. Here we have 2 boom houses, the 210-2s. They're pushers. Now they have to push. The Mayfield Yard up to Point L was to the highest point on the O&W. This was, it might have been one of the symbol freights. Long haul tenders. They could push as far as Northfield. for any of the O&W trains that went north.
What was
This is 19,
what was the rolling grade up to Poindexter? Something like 2%,
it was like maybe 4, I think it was 4.
4%?
I believe so. Some, I'll have to check on that there.
It was quite a grade though.
It was. In the yard, they also had a turning Y for the pushers on the north yard. Here we have early electric lights. This is around 1913 over here. They're building a new coaling tower and roundhouse on the north end, on the south end of the yard. There we have ash track, cars underneath the coaling tower. The roundhouse is in the background. There's a coaling tower, P-class underneath the coaling tower. Now we'll come into the around 1948, 49. The coaling tower is in disrepair, coming down. It's the diesel is pointing south. They had also the largest oil storage facility there in Mayfield. This is a 1938 photo. One of the heavy mountains next to the new roundhouse.
Looks like someone was taking a photo too.
That's on
Yeah.
camera
Oh,
there.
what a great shot.
Yeah, I rode on this turntable several times. We got turned. They used to keep the NW2s in the roundhouse. Here we got a snow plow on these, so it must still be close to winter.
Walter, you remember steam there?
Yes, I do remember steam there. They were like alive. You could hear them
That's right.
squeaking and
The Iron
peeping.
Horse, eh?
No, there's the roundhouse operator, or the turntable operator. There's a roundhouse.
Diesel days, that looks like there's.
Yeah, they did inspections on the diesels in there.
Wow.
In the winter.
What are all the wheels there for?
Yeah, those are the broken wheels. These are all broken wheel sets. That's one of the original water towers is on the right, and the newer one is on the left. And that we're actually we're looking north, right here. Okay, they're gonna put an open air shop here to repair the cars.
So they just repaired it out. You'll-
There,
There it is.
there it is. Now this is a side dump O&W car here. There's all doors on this here on the right side there to open up. And they're on hinges. They use them for ballast and stuff.
Probably changed a lot of brake shoes there, that's for sure.
That's
Coming down the grade, well, down the other side of the grade.
okay. Here's a look here, looking at the shop. It's probably like in the 50s. Now that water tower on your left, in the late 40s, I think around 1949, there was a big fire in Childs, and the fire was so hot that it scorched this water tower. The water tower got scorched, and that's Route 6 is there,
Well,
goes through.
just between where that coal car is and the open air shop, is that like a little narrow?
Yeah,
gauge
that's
shop
narrow
track?
gauge, yeah, for the
Okay.
shop tracks. There's 2 sets of them.
That's
They
like
bring
what-
cars into the parts into the left there and inside and outside.
It's like
Yeah,
with
it's narrow
the
gauge.
East Broad Top, they're restoring their little narrow gauge
Yeah.
shop
Yeah.
track.
Right,
It's pretty neat. It's a railroad within a railroad.
right. There, the ash track is on the left. You have a sand tower here, maintenance, repair shop, blacksmith shop is here.
They look, were they brick buildings? They look
Brick
like
buildings, yeah. Yeah, this was after 1913, 14, when they had big construction in there. They moved the turntable down here too. Now there's the diesel facilities, that's the sand towers for the diesels. Here's part of the fueling facility. Fuel storage. later
That's
days.
later.
Is that after shutdown?
This is probably just right after shutdown. There you have all these, all this power there and nothing to move. It ran symbol freights till the end. A lot of the hoppers here in the yard. Yeah.
You got any pictures of what's there now in this presentation?
This is the stockyard, the cattle net. If you look in there, the picture's not that great, but they had on the north end and on the south end, they had stockyards for cattle and horses.
Do you have any pictures
I do.
about what it looks like now? Because
It's
ooh,
gone.
doesn't look like that.
Yeah. Where's Waldo?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep. This is Mayfield Yard. If you look in the background through the mist, you have the Powderly breaker up here on the left and the Erie breaker in about the last section of the picture. Yeah, these were during the war years over here. They had these packs, export packs. The O&W was hauling.
Packs of what?
I'm not sure what was in them, but they're exports.
It's like an early
Oh,
form of intermodal, I guess.
Yeah.
Jeeps or something.
Yeah,
Load
you
it
see
right
the-
onto a ship.
Right, I guess so, in there, but through the yard. That's the coaling tower on your left there.
Did the main line run through the center of the yard?
I'm
Or
not
was
sure
it-
which
okay.
track it was. And they had tracks on both sides, but mainly more or less probably was the middle. The right hand, there was a lot of storage tracks. They were double-ended. There they have one of the gas cars was up, ran in Mayfield. You're trying to, when the passengers were low, didn't get too many passengers, so they were trying to run the gas car up there.
What was the last year passenger service
1933.
on the Scranton division?
Yeah. Yeah,
Huh.
yeah, dynamometer car there.
Yeah, with the dynamo thing on the front.
Yeah, right, there's stuff on the front.
Cars were they pushing up?
How many cars at a time would they be pushing?
Do we need a couple of engines to push up to point out how many cars are they pushing?
How many cars would be a typical train shoving up over the hill?
That I have to find out on that one there, but it was 12,008 feet above sea level, point L.
2,500?
12, 2000, yeah, 2,500. 2008. This is the D&H locomotive that the O&W, they leased it at first, then they bought it. It lasted there till around 1948.
Ah,
Yeah, nice Buick there.
yeah.
It's by the ash track.
this was 50s.
Yeah. The ash dumping track for the locomotives, but the diesel's on it. The caboose is there on the north end of the yard.
The beast.
Caboose, plural.
Some of them had a steel underframe put in later years, so they could be, because they had the bull mooses pushing them up the hill, so they wouldn't crush. Winter time there in Mayfield.
And how many cars were still here after abandonment?
There in the yard,
In Mayfield, yeah.
most of those got pulled out.
It's all gone now.
Yeah, yeah.
How many were left?
I don't think there's any left.
Well, how many were left after the abandonment?
Oh, there was a few pasture.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh, yeah, that,
Yeah.
I have them on here.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Yep.
I think it was around
Those could-
4, Alan.
Okay.
Go back to that previous picture.
Okay,
Will. Looked like they took those 2 bobber cabooses and turned them into yard offices.
Yeah, there was several of them used that way. Yeah. Ballman bought 3 of the wooden cabooses. They had them across the road there. 8307 was one of them, I know. But they piled cars on top of the cabooses. He was stacking cars, and I guess they crushed the other 2 cabooses. When I was working, there was a young kid there. I remember seeing 3 of them. They wound up getting crushed. Right, one of the hoppers. This was the original yard up in the front. There's the Armstrong turntable, water tower. The yard office would be on your left here. That was the coaling trestle there for the steam locomotives. This is the yard office over here where it's turned around. And there's a station just beyond that little shed there. Yeah, we have an O&W passenger train coming through in this shot. No, this shot's taken from the yard office.
Same spot, just about.
Yes.
So the operations end March of 57. When did they actually pull the rails out?
Took another 2 years.
Okay.
The yard's not that full. So you see some of the tracks. Here's the 116 in operation on the O&W as an O&W locomotive.
Yeah.
This one still exists.
Arkville, New York. Is where it is
Yes.
now.
That's the boost track on the right. And they're right near the yard office. When I got a ride on the NW2s, they used to tell me to duck down as we were passing this place, so nobody from the yard office could see me in there. The same one in the caboose. Stay inside the caboose. Don't come out.
How old were you?
I was a teenager.
Okay.
Yeah. Snow. We're gonna see more snow. Here's one of the heavy mountain locomotives for the snow plow, butterfly plows. I'm still looking for one on the bull moose. The bull moose has had them too, but I don't have a picture. Eventually we'll find one, hopefully. This is one of the symbol freights that's going to head to Maybrook. You're looking into the yard, looking south. Symbol freight's on the left there that's going to leave. Originally, the building on the left there was a station, passenger station.
It's the old combination car.
Right.
There's the yard office.
Yeah, there's the yard office down there too. They used one for a toilet and so on. There's the yard office.
That's bigger than the one in Middletown.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now you're looking south. The trolley tracks cross over. This was lube storage over here on your left. And up in this area, you had the less than carload docks and also a turning Y for the pusher locomotives that are going to head back towards Point Hill. The Y, most of that Y track was still left in long after the O&W shut down. Ballman had bought part of the yard, and he had some of the passenger cars and that standing on the tracks, and they left there. There was a lock when we did that one program up there. I think around 1986 or something. We did an O&W at the society came up and did one in the firehouse there. There was an O&W lock still on one of the switch stands. I always wanted to go back and oil it up and try to get it off.
Tim Lenahan online says that his grandparents' house is just on the left there. So
Mhm. Yeah, this is the lube building.
it was in
Lube
barrels.
storage. Yeah. Here's the passenger. This is the trolley tracks crossing over. The yard office would be to the right. The Powderly breaker is right across. If you're looking at it over there, you see the column pile, the gigantic column pile there. It's slightly light gray that you see.
Is that
And-
the
String of cars is what now? See the string of cars?
There's a string of cars there. They're D&H cars. That's Duffy's Field. There's cold storage a little further up. The storage yard for the empty hoppers was on the lower end. And the store, you'll see the tipples in a moment here.
so the D&H is across the Lackawanna River somewhere out in
Right,
the distance.
it's right across.
Yeah.
Okay. Now here, Robert, the LCL dock is on the right. If you look close, you'll see the cold storage on the right. Those triangles that you see. And if you look way up on the left, that's a truck dump. I used the train, the NW2 used to come up and switch cars up there because the coal companies were dumping coal into the hoppers. They're bringing it down by truck. There was no.
So they just backed the dump truck right up to that loading dock. and
Yeah,
they just-
it's
yeah.
a ramp. It was
Yeah.
right off of 6. There's hopper cars in there. There's like 5, 6 of them along Route 6.
So where you get off at 6 now and you cross over, that's right in the middle of like Mayfield Yard, though, right? Where they have that exit.
That's, I'm trying to think of the name of the street there. Meredith Street, that's still there. That split the yard. Okay. Now we have the less than carload dock there in Mayfield. That was in the north yard. Yeah. That was some of my neighbors. That's how I managed to get the rides. One of them is Farrell. Fellow there in the middle. Okay. Okay, here's a Symbol Freight leaving, heading to Maybrook. Now that's one of the small coal operations is up there on the right. If you look up in there, and then the building on the right. There was no spurs running up there, so they used to truck the coal to the hopper cars. This one's coming back from Maybrook. Gonna head all the way out on the Coxton. Now here's some of the cars that got left behind. Well, on the Bauman bought them. You see the cold storage in the background. That's actually across their D&H cold storage. Okay, White Bridge. There's a small station here at one time. Here's the train of the future GM when it's traveling on the O&W. Actually, it's heading south, north. It's heading north into Carbondale. Okay, here we have Carbondale. The O&W is on the far left. This is the D&H Canal Company, the gravity railroad all in here. See them back and forth. The D&H regular steam will be underneath. Next photo.
So the near trestle here is Canal.
Yeah, that's Canal. And
Those
they had
little dump cars there, that's all Canal Company.
yeah,
and then
coming back. This is the empties coming back. They traveled to Waymart, Pennsylvania. They went up over the mountain and down into Waymart.
And you can see the O&W's Carbondale station
Yeah,
on the
the
upper
carbon,
left.
yeah, upper
And there's
left.
the trestle.
And the D&H yard is actually behind that. There we go. This is the first trestle across, the original single track in Carbondale. Carbondale wouldn't allow another railroad to be on track ground level. So we have this is the D&H on the bottom, but the Erie also had trackage rights. So the Erie also ran here. The big Challengers and stuff ran on this
And the O&W is the last one into town, right? 1890.
Right, right.
So they get the scraps
Yeah.
as far as
Here they're building
routing.
the double trestle, the big steel trestle, and it's heavy duty because they're expecting to haul a lot of coal. Another shot. That station had two steam elevators inside to bring the passengers up. This is the freight house is down on the lower level, so they also had a ramp from this trestle down into Carbondale. The post office is in that area right now in Carbondale.
Cool, Bill.
Any of those abutments still around?
The abutments are around. Some of them are still there.
So you're looking north
No.
towards Cadosia.
Yeah. And there's a station, no trespassing, up in here by the cemetery. I wonder if it's still there. Somebody, you need a torch because it's welded to a piece of rail. It says,
The sign that says no trespassing?
right, for
Yeah.
O&W, NY O&W was up there. When we did some of the trips, I pointed it out. Maybe some of the guys been up on a hacksaw or something. Yeah, just after the buildings closed down. I got some keys for that station.
You think they still work?
This was a train excursion over here. They at one time, I guess some railroad enthusiasts got together and they ran a trip into Scranton on the bridge. Yeah.
Pretty neat concept.
Yeah, they let them off and so
Yeah.
they could look around. We also got a freight train passing through.
Wow.
Hauling coal. This might be going either to Cornwall or to Weehawken. After the war, they had a deal there that the American bases had to use American coal. So that here's the ramp down to the freight station.
What's that big thing in the back?
That's a D&H retail coal dealer. He supplied the coal to the dealers around the area.
So that was the O&W's freight house right there?
On the bottom.
In
Yeah, that's the
Carbondale.
one that,
Okay.
yeah, that's the Carbondale. Yeah. Now, those white posters on there is telling you that it's going to shut down on March 29th. On this photo. And here, you see the concrete bumpers. That's part of where the yard was.
Cool old billboard.
Yeah.
Marlboro.
That looks like Lion Hill.
It does look like that. Yeah. Plasticville, something like that.
Yeah, I don't know if the bumper's still there or not, but it was post office in this area now. Down here is the D&H open air repair shop. It's the O&W bridge crossing over. A lot of ties and stuff stored in there. Symbol freight heading south towards Maybrook
Heading north?
and heading north. That's the Lackawanna River on the right.
So you're heading north on the Scranton division to Cadosia, and then you're heading south
Right,
on the main line.
right. Here the 405 in winter service ran into some hopper cars. When the passengers service was small, in the winter time, I guess they didn't have much business, so the 405 was put into use as a freight locomotive. Another shot of it.
I wonder if it was pushing in the middle of the train and the forces that just pushed right through that hopper, because you'd think that if there's the rear of the train, there'd be a caboose there.
Well, I guess maybe they were moving stuff around.
Yeah, that's true.
Right for a long switch.
Could be the wrong
Yeah.
switch.
That bridge is right there, crosses over into the D&H yards. That's the D&H yard here. Actually, the track comes into right here is the D&H that's running to that outdoor that shop that we seen.
Which track are you pointing to?
Right here in the bottom, in the middle.
Okay.
That's the D&H track.
Where that boxcar
bridge
is.
there, yeah, where
Yeah.
the boxcar is. And the O&W is on the right.
Did they interchange Was there interchange there or not?
And,
Interchange.
no, it's a little further up.
The interchange was done at Jermyn, right?
No, up further.
Oh,
There's a
okay.
connection with the Erie in that.
So a D&H trackage was just all itself.
Right. That one heads back to the other side. The D&H yard is on the right. The O&W is coming up here. This already down the single track in the Simpson area. This is 1942. After the flood, there was right away got washed out. It was weak or something here, and they had a wreck there. That's after the flood. One of the bull mooses. They brought in the D&H big hook from across the river and helped get the cars back on the rail. There you can see a dip in here too.
Oof.
Something, yeah. After the flood.
So you're looking south back towards Scranton here.
The Mayfield or the D&H yard is on your right. The D&H was short power and stuff too, and they had a coal strike, so they leased some O&W locomotives or diesels to push and help get over Mount Ararat.
When did they scrap their steam? 52?
52, 53. I remember the Challenger left Carbondale. They headed south towards Scranton, wherever they were going. I used to see them. They used to be in the middle of the trains when they're getting pulled. I could tell the sound of an Erie locomotive or a D&H locomotive or the O&W because they had the crossings there in Jermyn and Mayfield. And just by the sound, you could tell. Coming out of Simpson.
Challenger.
Yeah, and there's a little pusher behind
Behind the caboose.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Northwest Junction. That's another several mines up in here in breakers that the O&W served. Went on till 1948, I believe. They had a washout on the roadbed there, so then they had a spur put in along the main, and they had trucks bringing the coal down.
So from this point north, it's all abandoned on the D&H / Erie's Jefferson division.
Right. And this is when they're putting a heavy-duty bridge in on the Northwest branch. This is the O&W. They're going to put a steam bridge in, or a steel bridge.
Just below is the D&H there, right?
It'll be further over to the left.
Okay.
There's actually a switchback that goes up over the mountain a little further over when you get over there. But if you just about see it there in the upper right, look towards the top, towards the 3/4 of the top. That's the switchback is up in there.
No hard hats.
No fall protection.
OSHA would not like that.
Better do the steel bridge. Now the bridge further down, that's the D&H and Erie go underneath that bridge.
And those abutments are still there because that's all, like I said, it's all crushed gravel trail. It's a pretty nice trail from there all the way to basically the state line, and you can walk it all the way underneath Starukka and stuff. And they've even got a historical marker right there for the Northwest branch or junction.
And that's brown. Wait. That's the steel bridge now. And if you look hard towards the top, you can see the switchback part of it.
So I'm
right up there.
He's standing on the O&W looking down the.
Right.
Okay. And this all here is also a trail, but it's like a cinder trail, and people like to ride their dirt bikes and stuff. But it's all open. You can go from here all the way to pretty much Hancock and walk it.
more of the construction shots there. Now here we have an O&W and a D&H. They're heading south in this shot. And that northwest branch is over here on the far left.
So they're on the same side of the river, and then the O&W is going to cross the other side of the
Right.
river,
Right.
and then the O&W's northwest
Back
branch is
and
going to
forth.
cross back across the other
Right.
side of the river and cross the D&H.
The river is actually between the two,
Between the two.
Between the
here.
two? Okay.
Yes.
and they're heading north towards Cadosia.
Yeah.
And north. Another shot. This is one of the northwest breaker up here. There's several breakers named Northwest over the years, but this all is served by the O&W. It's all on that Northwest Junction. There's a real high of Richmond number 4. I wonder how they built these towers.
It's
Hard to
all wood
believe.
too. It's all wood,
No, there's probably steel in that.
steel. Okay.
Forest City. Here we have an O&W locomotive coming back from Maybrook. Over here on your left, you see a signal, and that's the D&H on the opposite side of the Lackawanna River.
So the other side of the river from Forest City, isn't that technically Browndale?
Yeah, Browndale.
Okay. But the O&W called that station Forest City.
Yeah. Okay, here's the Forest City station. Then they added to it. They added the freight house. The original station here on the top, the bottom over here has the freight house added to it. Here, you have a P-class coming back with a combine car on the end, and we have a guy riding a pilot. And I counted the mines. He was there to check to make sure that there was no cave-ins along the right-of-way.
The best seat in the house there.
Right.
Except in winter.
Stop.
Only difference is the bugs flying around.
Pleasant Mount. Pleasant Mount also had a creamery. The O&W had some milk business on here too. So this is the furthest it came from this place north.
So
When
milk
they
was
hook up-
coming from Pleasant Mount, going all the way to Cadosia, and then Cadosia onto
Right.
the milk train, all the way to
Right.
New York City, pretty much.
Or to one of the Borden's dairies or something. Pleasant Mount Station.
So Joey, just like you were talking about earlier, there's a station sign.
I was
Yeah.
just about to say that. That's exactly, and it's interesting because I got a picture of the point deli you might have in your program, and the actual background is black and the words are white. And then obviously this one is and mine is vice versa. I don't know when they, flipped the thing. I know the Erie did the same thing. Erie's were black with the white lettering, and then at some point they, switched it over.
Yeah.
So
Now
this,
all-
I think it was during the turn of the century when they did that, because
Now, all these stations from Forest City up are 2-story.
The station
Watch.
master and his family living upstairs.
Somewhat, but also for the winter, they used to get workers to clear the main. A lot of heavy snowstorms.
right, they all look alike, Starlight.
Yeah,
So
right.
then from here,
Point L.
going north, it's not only double
Lakewood.
track, but the Jefferson division / Erie's
Yeah,
Penn division.
that's
they've
Stillwater.
split.
That's
They've
Stillwater.
yeah. So they're now several miles apart now, where
Right,
they were
yeah.
a couple feet
They
apart
split
before.
off.
This is Pleasant Mount.
This is in our
Over
calendar
here.
this year.
Yeah, this they had an agency there, and then they're
Oh, wow.
handing up orders.
Nice cowboy hat.
Orson coming up. Orson, they had ice pond here, and there was actually 5 ice houses here.
5.
5. The O&W serviced them too. They pulled ice from there.
So Cadosia's to the right, Scranton's to the left.
Right. Okay. You're looking here.
And there's nothing there today, is there?
No,
That's all
no.
now.
I believe this is Preston Park. Oh, here, I might have just got out of this area. For some reason, a lot of people are gathered here. It's a special train.
I don't think like that many people even live in that county, like that area. I mean, it's
Right,
so
there's
sparsely
mainly
populated.
farms,
Yeah.
and there's a big fish hatchery up
Well,
there.
O&WRHS says on the O&W tape, there was a lot of camps up this way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
summer camps.
And there still are,
They did run summer camps up.
Right.
The one that
That's
we had
probably
some,
what this is
yeah.
right here.
but this is like the most remote area of northeastern Pennsylvania that they're running through.
and they have the high switch stands on account of the snow. If you look to the right,
Yep.
It's pre-double tracking.
Morton Mills.
Yeah, this part of Pennsylvania, believe it or not, at one time was notorious for having 8 to 10 foot snow drifts.
Yeah.
I mean, it's unheard of today.
This shed stood, I know, back into the 80s. This motor car shed that was there. But that was there in the 80s. Well, I know in one of our trips we went down through, it was there. It was a little overgrown with bushes and stuff, but it was still standing. Let's see. Yeah. Down a single track. There's another one of the creameries at Orson. Here's the ice houses, some of the ice houses here.
Wow.
Well, there should be 5 altogether. That's Bones Pond.
There's the ice house in the background.
Yeah. They're cutting ice.
Cutting
They have a
ice.
buzzsaw there, motorized. Yeah. Loading ice to some of the ice houses.
That's some operation.
Yep. Now here's
This is the
There's-
bull moose.
the bull moose that went
Yeah.
over. They needed 3 cranes to lift it.
The D&H.
Yeah.
Brought the records up there. They talk about
Wow.
this also with the lost O&W tapes. That
Yeah.
sat out, that laid down there up until the summertime. And then they did the recovery to
Yeah,
pull
they-
that out. And they said that,
They laid rails into
yeah. They said they weren't expecting that engine to jump the tracks like that because the bull mooses were so heavy. They were just gonna ram it through the snow. And obviously she, jumped off. The engineer was buried in the snow. They had to dig him out, but he was okay.
Here we have,
Was anybody killed or was it?
No, they were okay.
yeah, we have the 3 records trying to write up the locomotive.
Wow.
That's the one. That's the bull moose.
Yeah.
This is in this,
What year about was this?
I don't have to look it up myself.
I think it was during the blizzard of 1914.
Okay.
In the back of one of the
Yeah.
observers, there's a
Yeah.
whole dissertation about this. Pictures.
Right.
There's a lot
And
of-
here's the track that's going down to try to put the locomotive back on. Point L. The highest point on the O&W.
So this only shows
Or
the
Chip-
north Y, but there would have been another
Yeah,
Y just
right,
south of it here.
Right. And there's a nice house up there too for the creamery. Now here you have, this is part of the Y, and here's a snow fence. The O&W, the heavy snows. Well, this is the turning Y. This was uphill both ways, from Cadosia up and from Mayfield up.
Yeah, Point L was 2,067 feet. It was the tallest point. So you were going southbound, it was the crest, and northbound, it was the crest.
It's a huge
Point
hotel
station.
for that area.
Yeah. Yeah, but ventilated boxcar there in the background.
And you see what I mean about the
The
sign?
watermelons.
Would that have been a blue sign or a black sign?
Black.
Black.
Wintertime.
I'm getting cold just looking at
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Doesn't
There's
look-
one of the creameries. Farmer bringing in the cans. Lakewood. This station still stands.
I think it was for
They had a
sale,
lumber
too.
business there in Lakewood. And the Borden's plant was there. Feed mill.
Tim Lenahan
Yeah.
online says 1920. I'm guessing that was the date of the wreck.
Okay. We'll buy that. There's the Borden's plan in Wynwood. It's Lakewood, but the name changed 3 times. It was Como, it was Wynwood, and Lakewood in the end.
I think it's
I don't know why they changed names.
one of the lakes is still called Lake Como up there. There's a lot of summer camps and stuff. Is this the station that's for sale?
Yeah,
Yes.
Okay.
yes.
It is.
Used to be like a town municipal building or something like
Yeah,
that.
it was. Yeah, it's the station there. Yeah. In the wintertime too, the O&W planted Christmas trees along the banks there, but they were losing them like every Christmas. People would cut them down.
It's like a
So they tried
windbreaker.
snow
Yeah.
fences and they tried Christmas trees and everything else, but the snow came. But come Christmas time, a lot of the trees disappeared. I got some paperwork on that somewhere. I have to look it up.
Some of them disappeared in the caboose.
Yeah.
P-class.
Okay, here's some of the lumber business at Lakewood. Snow, okay, let's see what we have here.
Oh my God.
That's the Joe plow operating in, yeah, here we go.
You're the only person with a Joel model.
I do have a
Yeah,
model.
I know you do. Joel snow excavator.
Yep, there's only 11 of them made. Not models, the real ones, but they tried them different. That's like a corkscrew in here.
Okay, that is.
Yeah, it's getting pushed. There you have a closer shot. There's the corkscrew there.
Was it effective? Did they find did it throw snow better than the regular rotary or?
It worked, but I mean, it vibrated so much and everything, the vibrations.
Wow, wait.
It changed from Wynwood to Lakewood in 1912 due to the U.S. Post Office name change. There might have been a town similar to Wynwood that they have to change it.
Right. They had 3 different names. Como was also
Yeah.
one of the names.
The other guy showing all his boots.
There you can see how big the snow, how tall it was here. That's why they hired anybody, farmers and kids and that
Shells.
to shovel and all. They get the line opened up. So they used to sleep in the upper level of the station. There you see, here's the reason for what some of those high switch stands, so you could find where switches. Here we have a pusher, snow plow.
Oops.
Yeah, this one's over on the
Oops.
side. Whoops.
Pushed a little too hard there.
Yeah.
I like that they're SP2, Snowplow 2. Yeah, that's their number.
Right. There's another one off the tracks here. Single track plow. We push snow to both sides.
Because of ice
See,
between the rails, right?
Yeah, flanger. No, there's 2 types of plows. There's one with like a single blade that went across, so they could clear where the double tracks.
Yeah.
Yeah, another one over. That's why I say the snow was bad up.
They derail frequently, right?
Yeah, here we go here again, winter. Yeah.
That looks like a New Haven locomotive behind.
The Lackawanna steam crane there.
Well, they lease locomotives. They lease locomotives from the New Haven
Yeah.
too, at different times. I know when the inspection was due, they used to run them into Pennsylvania. So, yeah, because the inspectors, the New York inspectors,
Yeah.
couldn't inspect. So at Cadosia over there, they didn't bring them to Cadosia, and then they ran them into
That
Pennsylvania.
looks like a Lackawanna crane, an O&W Y class, and then 2 New Haven, was it 210-2s or something?
Yeah.
You can tell by the feed water heaters.
The diesel didn't fare any better.
That's on that's at that.
Oop.
Where those FTs were on
Yeah, where is that? Oh,
I'm not sure. This is Sands Creek, if I'm not mistaken.
Sands Creek Trestle.
Sands Creek Trestle.
We're in Preston Park now.
Yeah.
Whoops.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had a lot of coal trains running away
Yep.
down on this section of the grade by the Sands Creek. Wasn't there a curve over here?
Yeah, there was a curve too.
They had a really bad curve right there. They had a lot of wrecks there. But I got
There's
that
a-
sort of
Collapsed.
Actually, in the fill, there's some O&W trucks still available. I know this one farmer, he was actually a sheriff or something. He talked to me about it one time over there. He says, if you want them, you can come up and get them. It was on his property, but you got to dig them out.
Yeah, they say there's no trace of this left, no abutments, piers, nothing.
Another one teetering on the trestle.
Yeah, the trestle collapsed, right?
Yeah, it looks like it collapsed.
This is the replacement now, steel bridge. Have a steam train approaching, heading to Cadosia,
That's northbound.
northbound, yeah. They had freight, they were moving freight. A pusher and a caboose.
Main central boxcar.
Yeah. Outside braced.
It's an old box car.
Where's this now?
I think that's Preston Park, if I'm mistaken.
This is Preston Park here. Oh,
Where's
Starlight?
It's not Starlight. Some of these might have got out of whack.
Nice color shot.
We got a single track already here at this point.
Tell you, without
In
the
the
railroad,
50s.
it still looks like
That
that.
station's still there.
Yeah, that station's still
Yeah.
there. They had a stone business,
Bluestone.
blue stone, and they also had a creamery. Let's cross over. That's the ice house and the creamery up here on the right. They were running a combine too. I guess the passenger service was
Mixed train.
Yeah, so it was like a mixed train. Yeah, this is the Starlight wreck.
At least you know where it is.
A
166.
lot of D&H cars over here. I guess they're getting rid of the competition this way. They didn't like the Santa Fe either. A wreck master's dream.
Bang, boom.
Nightmare. That looks like a Westmoreland car here on the left.
You know,
Looks like
as
there's a triangle in there.
heavy-duty wrecker operator, and I go out and do those tractor trailer wrecks, it's a lot of work. I can only imagine this.
Any idea on the year for this?
Even having. any
No, I'm
hydraulic.
not sure. I have it
Yeah,
marked on
exactly.
the back of the pictures, but I should get that together.
Whoa.
Another wreck in there.
P-class,
Sitting on the
203.
locomotive.
Yeah. The record there, mess.
Oh,
Yeah,
you found the
right.
remains of.
I think this is a rock crusher down in here for ballast
outside
and
of
stuff on that, if I'm not mistaken.
Free
Just
double
the
track.
photos.
Pennsylvania side.
Yeah.
You gotta think, if you wrecked or something like that happened back then, you had to walk or run to the nearest station or something like that.
Right.
There's no way to
Yeah.
communicate. Even
Unless
nowadays, there's
well,
no
they had
cell
the
service.
telegraph lines. They did have the
Climb-
telegraph
climb the
unless
pole, tap on the telegraph.
tap
Yeah.
on the poles there.
Hey,
But even nowadays, there's not even any cell phone service there.
Oof.
Lot of
Just
wrecks.
climb the pole and tap into the.
Was this
There's one
record
away.
based out of Cadosia or Mayfield?
Just out of Mayfield.
That's out of Mayfield.
SD2.
Yeah, I see the bridge up in here.
Scranton
on the top
Division
left.
2. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's the bridge in the background.
Yeah, the bridge in the background over there. Now we're going to Delaware Bridge.
Mayfield, Louisiana.
Yeah. Here's the still car. This is the compression car. I got a model of this too. But this is they use steam drills to drill the rock. So
So this is when they were
provided
double
that.
tracking the Scranton
Yes,
division.
this,
so-
yeah, this is double tracking. This is when Delaware River Bridge was only single tracked.
So you're
But
looking,
this is-
you're looking towards Cadosia, you're crossing the
Yes, yes,
Delaware,
yes.
and then you're also crossing the Erie Main Line there near
Right.
Hancock.
Right. I think this is Sands Creek Trestle, if I'm not mistaken.
No, that's a Delaware.
Or oh, it is a Delaware, okay, yeah.
You got the trestle in the background.
Right, okay. Here, they're doing a fill on the approach. Here, this is
Vanderbilt tender.
159, and they had an Erie Vanderbilt tender, the only one they had on the line for working. So I don't know, they're running oil or whatever. And these are all cars of fill for the trestle. They're filling the trestle here.
McDonald Construction Company.
Yeah. Here, they put all these here plates on the side to keep the trestle from collapsing while they're filling it, so the bends wouldn't break. So it's diverting the fill. Yeah. This is only recently taken out. It was like a single track road bridge under here. This is all fill on the right. Bobber caboose up on the top.
1911.
There was a restriction on the highway here in later years. They finally took it out. Here's McDonald's Construction Company. They're doing the bridge.
O&WRHS.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Came later.
Here they have a small,
It's a small narrow gauge,
Yeah. Push road.
helped build the bridge. So unlike
yes,
all the other bridges on the O&W, they just built a second bridge next to the old
Right.
bridge. This one, they actually built a double track bridge and then tore down the old one.
right. That's when the, can't talk.
That's them building it.
Right.
This is in line 4, that's not.
Double track.
This is looking back towards Scranton.
Right.
This is the opposite direction, looking across the
You can see
Delaware.
the train all the way in the background.
Oh, yeah, look at that.
That's about a mile from Cadosia. That bridge, the bridge abutments for the bridge in the background is still there. Route 17 scoots right in front of that. That's cut right in front of that other bridge.
And this is after double tracking is complete. You can see the new box culvert. You can see the old
Yes, that's right.
trestle
Yes.
piers that they filled in.
Right. There's like a DOT yard up in there or something.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, look at that.
That's the.
Crossing Delaware.
And the Erie's just
It's
below
underneath,
that.
yeah.
Yeah. Some of those abutments are still there.
Right.
For sure.
That's a beautiful shot.
Here he is over here, underneath that bridge.
So the Erie's right there.
For sure.
Full loose.
This is the Erie.
This is looking towards the village of Hancock.
Right.
So you're looking east on the Erie.
You could come up on this little road in the back here, where you could see where the bridge was. There's a road up here at the top. There's some action on the Erie.
It's an eastbound.
I was just trying to get a picture that shows an O&W and an Erie at the same time, but haven't found one yet.
Well, that's what Photoshop is for.
I've never seen that.
Sands Creek.
They previously replaced
Mhm.
that. When they replaced it, they built it for two. And
Hancock.
The O&W actually built a spur that went down into the schoolyard in
Yeah.
Hancock. a little
Right.
Built that in the 1930s.
they had that from the archives, thanks.
Yeah.
It's out there, yeah.
So hold on to this map for a second, because people are asking to hold the maps.
Okay,
So the Scranton division is the upper right going to Scranton.
right,
To the right is towards Walton, and down to the bottom left is actually the southern division. So
right.
southern division extends, what is it, all the way to Sydney, technically.
The Southern Division went to Sydney and all the way to.
Cadosia.
Yeah, so a lot of people
I mean-
think this is a division point between three divisions, but it really is
It's
just,
not.
it's not. It's between southern division and the Scranton division here.
An early Hancock Station early.
Does that say Hancock Junction?
Yeah.
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 Hancock Junction, yeah.
Wow.
Well, that's real early.
Yeah, so, that's the Scranton division on your left.
So what's the telegraph call for Cadosia?
God, I can't remember off the top of my head.
I thought it was something, because this was the original Hancock station on the O&W before the Scranton division, Scranton was built in 1890.
An early shot of Cadosia Yard. Scranton division here is single track.
Yeah, Cadosia was HD, so.
There we see some action coming over the Cadosia Bridge. This is Cadosia Station. That still stands today in the
See
freight
that?
house.
From Route 17.
It's for
you see
sale.
that.
I believe it's for sale
For
now.
sale it is, yeah. You got plenty?
Extra millions. Get the loan.
Coming back.
It's a great shot.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah. Most of the mounds were denuded for, took all the wood for the acid factories.
Acid factories, right.
You drive through 17th through here, those mountains are pretty impressive. And when you drive on 17 between about here and Hancock, aren't you on the right of way, give or take?
You're on the right of way pulling up to South Yards.
Right. This, one of the symbol freights coming back from Maybrook.
Who's driving? The two guys at the window.
They wanted to get in the picture.
Yeah.
There's a passenger train on the Scranton. This was a camp special.
They're heading north towards,
Well, I guess he's coming into the pie. Those are wider.
yeah, but the two left tracks here, the ones
Yeah,
towards the
that's
southern
going in.
division.
Yeah, well, he's just coming off that. I don't know. So maybe, I'm not sure where the
So
train's
maybe
coming.
he's heading north to Walton or Sydney or something.
Right. But it was a camp train.
It could be interchanging, it could be.
A mixed train. See, they always had the coach on there, combine on there.
The milk train.
Well, there was a couple, like I said, there was
Yeah.
a few creamers. They had to make the connection at Cadosia for the regular milk train coming down. So they were always in a hurry to get to Cadosia. But they had the milk. This is back in 1957. It's about when they're closing.
Ah,
This shade drive vehicle there.
O&W and Erie transfer, so
Yeah.
transfer between the Erie's Hancock Station and
Yeah.
Cadosia.
Now here we have train 10. Remember in the beginning of the picture, you had train 10 at the C&J station? Well, here it's here in Cadosia.
What's the number on that?
8?
Hey,
No, that's an O&W logo.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the
is
number
it?
is.
Right. you're
Yeah,
right.
oh, yeah.
it's a tiny O&W logo.
Yeah, you're right.
I do have the number of that train written down, you know.
And where the Oswego Midland number.
Yeah.
That's a great shot.
That's a great shot.
Cadosia.
Looks pretty empty there.
Yeah. It's probably the last week of operation.
And there's no physical connection between the O&W and the Erie at Hancock,
No.
so
No.
it was just a bus transfer essentially to,
Right.
you know.
Yeah.
And it was
Yeah.
quite, what is it, 2 miles, Bob, a mile?
Yeah,
It's
about that.
Close. It was close.
Close.
Yeah. These both buildings here, they're still standing.
Yeah, the freight house and the passenger station is still
Yeah.
there.
There were discussions about doing it. I never did it.
A milk train, no less.
Oh, wow.
Coming down. Two water towers.
Two of them.
This had to be early, it's probably 48.
This was Hal Carson's, one of Hal Carson's
Yeah.
favorite
Yeah.
haunts for taking
Yeah.
pictures.
Yeah, I was friends with him. There's 405 taking on water.
See that much.
Color.
Oop, sorry, I'll go back. Working Cadosia Yard, there was 2 NW2s assigned.
Looks like some maintenance away, cars back there.
This was
Nice shot.
a special trip. They were going all the way up to Norwich,
Yeah.
and they had to use a double header on this here.
One of the trips.
The Mountaineer brought them up, a mountain locomotive brought them up as far as Cadosia, and then from here they switched over to 2 of the smaller locomotives. Those were in, I think, of 1938.
Is that a hotel back there?
That's,
Yeah, the YMCA.
Okay.
There's big cooling tower at Cadosia.
Which way are you looking here?
South.
So you're looking south towards Hawk Mountain?
That's the south
Right.
yard.
Okay.
Yeah. That was sand, this little thing that had the little doghouse that's hanging down, that's for sand for the steam locomotives. There's also a single stall engine house there at Cadosia. And I've seen this. Some of the trains. The snow plows and the flanger.
Flanges.
Didn't one of those flames go to the LMHR?
Yep.
105.
Yeah, it's there. They're restoring it now.
It's in Phillipsburg.
It went to Lehigh and Hudson River first.
Yep.
Yeah.
These were the original, before they got the
Dodge.
trimmers,
The
the
Dodge.
Dodge plant over here. They stored the coal here at Cadosia this way. That's early.
We had to stop and think of it, had to keep lifting the track up or whatever, they landed or something.
Here you have a part of the trimmer here on the left.
Yeah,
Is that the tower for Hawk Mountain right there in the bottom right?
Yes.
it must be.
So this is like, you're driving on 17 right now.
Wheeler Tower.
So this is like right where 17 goes right through there.
17 is up here. Walter, go back to that
Oh, okay, sure.
really quick. Route 17 at this point is right up on top of here.
Okay, it's just on the ridge line, just
Yeah,
above the
cuts right
tracks.
down, right,
Yep.
through the tunnel. As this drops, the O&W kind of like drops down.
Mhm. There's some of the trimmers there at Cadosia.
Supposedly there's some concrete work that's still there, but we couldn't find it.
That's the reloader here for reloading the hoppers,
Otherwise,
and also for they
That's
dump
still-
the
that's
cars
still a
there
distance
too.
over there where
There's a
still-
conveyor to load build the piles,
Right, yeah.
but also this area, this section over here, they reload the cars.
Yeah.
Siding or something.
I believe so, yeah.
The powerhouse for it, steam powered. Here we have the tower for the
Wheeler
Tunnel.
Tower.
The guys on the
Where's it go?
velocipedes,
Yeah.
look at that.
Yeah, two of them.
the
Yeah,
tunnel.
17 is literally
Yeah.
just to the left, right there.
Yeah,
Tunnels.
and Rattlesnake Mountain right in here.
You can see, and like if it's early morning and if it's cold one night, you can see the
Yeah,
steam coming off the
right.
ground
Right.
where the portals were, because they covered them in.
And there's still a road up on it.
Yes.
And this
yeah.
You
is,
can walk that.
Yeah.
and that's the end for tonight.
Boy, you did a great job getting through all that. So, yeah, towards the end.
I got a little hoarse.
So, the great thing about it is that we now have this recorded for all time. And
You have to get my small program too.
Yeah.
I have another one that I.
Well, some of the slides were hidden and stuff like that.
I
So
know.
That's why you clicked it and didn't go. You had to
I
click
know.
it 2 or 3 times.
I know.
So thank you, everybody, for listening
Okay.
online. Like I said, this has been recorded, and I think we should get this posted at a later date. So thank you for your questions and participation. Again, the next meeting will be May 3rd here at Middletown and online.
I
Thank
have
you.
one for Norwich.